Hello and good morning. How are you doing today?
Hey, hi, how are you?
Absolutely fantastic and very excited to share a conversation with you because I'm going to be that typical guy right now, and I'm going to say that the brand new American Gladiator, this is all about dropping your VR goggles and come on down, sign up, and take on these gladiators.
Yep, we're looking for contenders nationwide, and hopefully we get some from your town and have them come and try it if they think they have what it takes and they're strong enough and they have the stamina and the energy. And you know what's important here is having the courage to go head to head with these gladiators.
Ooh, I love that attitude. Now, listeners need to have that email address immediately.
AmericanGladiatorCasting.com. Make sure it's Gladiator singular. American Gladiator Casting.
I can't even read my own handwriting here. I must be a doctor or something there, sir. But you're right. You know, when it comes to the stamina and the courage, but it also has to come with speed, does it not?
It does. It does. It's a little bit of everything. You know, I always say the contender is the guy you don't want to get in a phone booth with. You know, he's got it all. He's strong. He's tough. He's got the stamina. He's got muscle power. And he's got it really, like I said before, he has to have that, and I don't know if I want to do this. You know, there's a lot of tough guys out there, but they just don't want to go head to head with these guys. You know, really, when you're looking at like on Powerball, when you have 3 gladiators, they reach, 6'4", 265, 270, and they're looking to, make lunch out of you. You got to want to go in there in the meat grinder.
For the fan of the show, to me, the announcers are just as important. They're the ones that keep me glued to that picture, and they bring the drama. And I think that you guys have always had the absolute best when it comes to those play-by-play announcers.
Well, you're so right. I remember when we first started, we had Fran Parkinson. Then there was Joe Theismann. And then, I remember Larry Zonka.
Yeah.
And Larry was something. And I remember with Larry, and he says, he said, when I first heard about this thing, he said, I thought there was a bunch of people just throwing, slime at each other. He said, this stuff is tough, and Mike Adamle was by far one of the greatest hosts of all time, I think. He had a memory like a computer, and he was just fantastic. And you're right, the play-by-plays and the knowledge of the contenders, and they really add a lot to the show.
Will you be traveling around the country to do this, or is it that we all fly into your area?
Well, they're going to do, it's funny because we had a meeting on that too. And I remember years ago, we used to go from town to town to town to town. And it really not only gets really, really expensive, I think because of the internet now and all the computers and everything, you can get a good majority of your contenders. And then once they narrow it down to, let's say, 100 people, then they can go and they could actually put them through whatever competition there has to be to get to the final 40 or whatever they need to do the show. But there'll be one, they're going to be going through training and everything else, these contestants.
Yeah.
Because you just can't take someone out and, stick them on handcuffs. They have to go through
You bring up a very interesting point in the way that you were talking about, how social media and things. But in 1989, when you created this show, you didn't have that social media connection. I would love to see the number of people who are going to be watching this on their smartphones or on their little notebooks. Because, this is such a connection show, and it's something that's going to create amazing conversation.
Well, first of all, we created the show in 1982.
Wow.
So it took me like 7 years. Now, this was created in a local high school gymnasium in 1982. So it took 7 years to get it on the air. But it's funny because our first event, we drew 4,000 people. This was there. It wasn't professional. This was there. And that's why it's just been a huge success around the world. Wow. We just aired in UK. They did like 8.5 million viewers.
Oh my God!
That's unheard of.
Oh my God!
That's unheard of. It's we have like 48 share, which is half the country. That's unheard of, and that's I think the largest ever in like the last 10, 15 years. So the people really do miss it. But the thing is that once it comes back, you have to deliver. You have to deliver it. And the show is only as good as your contestants. So they're so important to the show, having the greatest, toughest contestants there are. So really, if people in your area, if they have what it takes and they want to lay it on the line. And like I was saying earlier, it's like, you know, when you're on Gladiators, you're on there forever. I'm watching shows with contestants back in 1989, 90, 91. Here we are, 2024, and I'm still watching them on TV.
Yep.
We haven't been off the air in 32 years.
See, I remember those days of Nitro, Ice, Gemini, and Storm. Did you keep those names simple like that so that we would never forget them, so that we would idolize them immediately?
Well, it kind of took on the personality.
Okay.
You know, Gemini was supposed to be that double nice guy, very, very, you know, explosive. Nitro was always nasty. Ice was cold. Yeah. So they kind of took on. And you know, it's funny because now it's almost like there's going to be new people going into those characters. You know, it's a character, but yet they adapted themselves to play that character. And, you know, I was on the road with them. I've been at every filming. I've been on the road. I did a 114 city tour with them on the buses, ate what they ate, slept where they slept, did what they did, you know, and it was a big family, just a big family.
How many times did you see somebody take on the Gladiator, and then the second it was about ready to begin, I got to go. I can't do this. I don't have it in me.
You know, I've never seen that because, you know, you're going to find out once they go there that if they, you know, it's funny because I remember people saying, you know, if I do something wrong, everybody knows it, like that. You lost yesterday, and they're embarrassed forever, you know. So I've never seen anybody back out. I've seen them try so hard that they, you know, can possibly be injured, you know, because they don't want to lose. They're representing their family and their self-pride. I mean, there's something about this where it's your self-dignity. I've done this. Look what I did.
Yep.
And that's you can't buy that. You have to go do it.
American Gladiator Casting.com. I would love to take one on. Problem is, though, is that I'm going to be 62 years old. I think they would look at me and say, dude, please. No. We don't need to put you in the hospital.
Well, maybe you could just try out and see what you think.
Wouldn't that be fun? Just for the courage of it, right?
Say you did it. You know, it's, you know, I used to say, you know, when we used to go to city to city to city, you know, remember we were in New York City and we were like, I think it was Madison Square Gardens. It had to be like 20,000 people showed up to try out. And it's almost like you want to give them a diploma because they went through it. Like, congratulations, you went through the American Gladiator casting. And casting's tough. I mean, we used to put them through the suicide runs, the ladders, the power balls. It was like World War II just getting through the casting, you know, and that was just a taste of what they're going to get on the show.
Well, you've got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Well, listen, if ever you need to talk to me, they have my number, get a hold of them, and I'll be glad to talk with your audience and you.
Excellent. Well, you be brilliant today, okay, sir?
Hey, you take care, and congratulations.